I'm Naima Latif with the Media Connection, and we are here on the corner of Clark and Randolph, waiting for a very important press conference for the next candidate for recorder of deeds.
Guys, we want you all, first of all, we're glad you all could come today. My name is Zip. I'm with Jan Kowalski, campaign for recorder of deeds. The candidate is here. We're going to go in this evening, and we're fighting a mission back that started in 1964 with the Voting Rights Act and Johnson and Lyndon Johnson and all of the marching. And Jan is at a situation right here where clearly the Chicago Board of Election does not want Jan on the ballot, but the people has resolved in so much as they want Jan on the ballot. Today we're going to be going up to Judge Hoffman to get a ruling, an emergency ruling. But Jan Kowalski, who's running, she can speak for herself.
So now tell us what happened. What changed the reason why you're going to be able to file and kept from filing before?
I'm going to go to my attorney.
Okay.
Well, because she produced a number of signatures, and the Board of Elections failed. They don't want to count all of her signature pages. She turned in 1,374 signatures. However, they only counted all of them except 23 pages. Why are they leaving pages out? And there's a signature derby going on too. They strike you if your signature doesn't look spot on, but you know, the signature's not a constant thing. And also, many people are in a Chicago system, but they're not in the Cook County system for whatever reason. But that's not true. That's seamless. So why all of a sudden they don't want the candidates off the ballot, but when they want a candidate on the ballot or they want a vote to come out, those people are back for the system. It's just not right.
So
this is Jim Crow law in effect here. This is Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act of '65. They don't make us count jelly beans anymore, but there's all the procedures that they implement are designed to discriminate against voters, especially poor voters who are more transient and poor. Maybe don't sign the name the same literacy as a more educated person, but their signature and their vote should count, and that's why we're here.
how many total signatures are needed in order to get on the ballot?
5,374. Jan has collected 13,724. And some of them clearly aren't right, but that's more than 50% are not right. We have the signatures, and they're all in this bag here. We've got affidavits from people that we went back to who signed our petition to say, we're alive, we're voters, we got your voter number. They should be eligible to sign Janet's nominating petition. We need to have candidates. We need to have choice for voters. And that's why Janet is here. She wants to make the difference. She wants to provide a choice. The president recorder is going to run in the primary unopposed. And then there should be a choice for voters. They can not accept Jan or whatever. But we need to have a choice. We're not living in a Soviet Union right here. We need choice. And that's what this is all about.
So you said there were 20 pages. How many signatures already made?
There's 10 pages on a signature. That's one way they kind of cut you down is they weed out 23 pages. And it's remarkable. At first it's a scanner mistake because sometimes we got 1,300 pages. Well, the scanner maybe didn't take all of them or took a bunch of them together. But after a fashion, the signature total, the number of pages changed from 1,374, then it went down to 1,343, and then it went down a little further. It was like the stairway not to heaven, it was the stairway to getting kicked out. It's like, come on already. Count the pages. Be fair. There's got to be some justice here, and there's no justice whatsoever. The board can do whatever it wants. The board is supposed to be an electoral board, and the board is actually comprised of minions of the Cook County Electoral Board, of Anita Alvarez, Dorothy Brown, and Chairman Orr. They need to show up themselves and personally tell Janet she's off the ballot. They just can't send a lackey down there to kick her off. We don't know who's being responsible for this, and that's why there are elected officials, because they have responsibility, and that's why we're fighting for it today. It's just wholly inadequate. This doesn't comport with the 15th Amendment. There needs to be due process. The Voting Act needs to be administered, and that Section 2 is where we're at again, because it's all about the procedures they implement. It's not about justice anymore.
So what do you expect to happen upstairs when you get upstairs?
I've lived in Cook County my entire life. I don't expect anything to change. We're fighting, though. We just can't give up and just stand down. There's too much of an injustice. The voters deserve a choice.
So which program are you on your way to now?
Yes.
1707.
1707.
I don't think the voters want Anita Alvarez picking who's on the ballot. We want choice. We want a change. I hope so. I'd like to. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Once again, we want to, first of all, thank you all as this saga of Jan Kowalski on the ballot for recorder of deeds continue. The judge today, we put forth a motion to the 28 missing pages from the Chicago Board of Election, in which was denied today. But nonetheless, when you think about this battle of Jan Kowalski and Bob Kowalski, two everyday common citizens who want to be part of the electoral process, have been denied access to the ballot box. So as the Democrats and the Republicans run around and spend billions of dollars on voting access, but yet here's a young lady in the small town of Poulsen on the south side of Chicago, southwest, is being denied. So the issue becomes is, does the Voting Rights Act still exist, and how do we move forward from here? We'll be back here in court again tomorrow. Jan, how do you feel right now?
Undeterred. They're not going to stop me. And it's not just me. I've got 13,740 voters behind me that want to see my name on the ballot, and I'm not going to let them down.
Now, you pointed out that there's a discrepancy between the county records and the city records based on where a person may have registered to vote. If they registered in the city, then the registrar used a city form, and if they registered outside the city, they used the county form, but the county doesn't have the city records. So based on the county people saying they didn't have records of a number of your voters, they're saying you didn't have enough signatures that were valid on your petitions. How will you answer that? Will you bring your validation, and what is the next step for you if the court does not rule in your favor tomorrow?
Based upon our review of the city records, we found about a third of the registered voters in the city system that were not in the county system. So out of the 8,600 signatures they disallowed, about a third of them would be in the city system. So I would pick up 2,000 signatures right then and there. So we're not going to stick it. The people want me on the ballot. They want choice on the ballot. They don't want to be told who to vote for and only have one name.
How many signatures is actually needed?
5,365.
And how many do you have right now again?
I'm 545 short. But if they would have counted at least the 280 page signatures that they missed, I would at least be within striking distance.
So based on the count that you say you have and the amount that they say they're short, will you have enough information to take this case all the way to the Supreme Court should you have to go to an appeal?
I'd rather not. But I do. Out of that 2,000 registered voters that signed that were not in the system, I've secured affidavits from about 800 of them.
So that's your 500 that they say you're short?
In addition to the 280 that are missing, that they didn't even bother to count. Thank you.
Well, we'll be back tomorrow and see what happens in the court.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.